Hi, and welcome to Getting Biblical, the show where I drink too much and talk about my favorite Bible stories. I am Matt Smith, your host, and thank you for joining us today. So today's episode is going to be short and sweet. We're going to get right to the point. For today's episode, we are going back to Moses and seeing what he's up to with the Israelites now that they've been freed from slavery. And we're going to do a quick story, like I said. This one, so we're ramping up towards the story of the Ten Commandments, right? A monumental story in the Bible. And there's a lot there, a lot of details that a lot of people don't know about, a lot of stuff I want to talk about. So this episode is also important. It's needed to kind of lay the foundation and everything to ramp up into that. But it would add too much time, I think, and detract too much from the Ten Commandments story to put it all into one episode and make it too long. And also, it's too important to skip. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's a filler episode, but it's like a bridge episode. It's some stuff we have to cover, but it won't take us a lot of time to do it. But it's super cool. It's very interesting. So it's fine. It'll be good. It'll be good. Trust me. Okay, on to Bible stuff. Let's get this rolling. Also, I have not that you care, I have a wedding this weekend. My sister's getting married. I've got so much on my plate. We're just going to knock this story out and let us all get back to our regularly scheduled lives. All right, so we're picking up with Moses and everyone in Exodus chapter 15. When we left them, the Israelites had just gotten their freedom. The Red Sea had been parted so they could walk across on dry land. And then when the Pharaoh and his chariots were in the middle of the parted sea, chasing after them, Moses had the walls of water crash in and drowned everyone. So now the Israelites are free people. Their slave owner, the Pharaoh, was dead, right? They were free people. They had no one who could have a pink slip on them as a people. And so they were brought out of the bondage of slavery and ready to head to the promised land that God had foretold about. And they're so happy that they sing. There's like 3/4 of a chapter of them singing a song of praise to God, and then, which I'm not going to go over. And then literally 3 days later, after they do this big musical number of them singing praises to God, 3 days later, water becomes scarce because, it's a desert and everything, and they start getting super pissy and a little bit moany and whiny, and they're all like, why did you bring us out here to die, Moses? Why do you hate us so much? like that. And so anyway, so they're all crying about like dying of thirst and everything, and apparently they find this river, like a stream or something, flowing through the desert, which, a rare find in and of itself, I guess. But unfortunately, it is gross. It is nasty. The water is bitter and undrinkable and like dirty, I'm imagining, all this kind of stuff, right? Like you're like, yay, water. Ew, horrible water. Like it's not like they can't even drink it. They're so thirsty they can't even mess with it. And like, so they're complaining and everything. So Moses takes their request to God, and God shows Moses a random nearby tree. I don't know if it was a dead tree. I don't know if the tree had fallen down. It doesn't say that it doesn't say any of that specifically. It doesn't clear that up. But the verse pretty much goes like God's like, okay, the water's gross. See that tree over there? Throw it in the river. and so you can use your imagination. Because Moses runs over and hulks out, I'm always angry, and just picks up the tree, rips it up or whatever, and throws it in the river. I don't know how this worked or what, but maybe it was a baby tree, maybe it was just a little thing. Maybe I'm giving it too much credit for being a full tree. It was just a little twig of a tree growing up, a baby Groot. And anyway, Moses was able to just rip it out one-handed. I don't know. But either way, he throws this tree, whatever size it was, alive or dead, I don't know. He throws this tree into the water, and magically it becomes drinkable. right? Yay, right? Now they don't die of thirst in the desert, right? Miracle number one, right? Now you don't have to die of dehydration. And then, of course, after that, after they've been drinking for a couple of days, of drinking water for a couple of days, they start complaining next about being hungry, as you can imagine. So God comes down in cloud form, whatever, and everyone can see him, and as a cloud, and he talks to Moses, and he's like, I hear the nagging, I get it, everybody's hungry, like, puny mortals with your digestive systems and everything. But like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make up a new plan. I'm gonna invent a thing. Every evening, in the evening time, I'm gonna make quail fall down from the sky. It is gonna rain some quail down on here. So many quail. Just gonna rain down in the evening every day, and everybody can like scoop them up and all that. But now remember, there's like 1 million plus people out here, and every night enough quail is dropping out of the sky to feed everyone, which is bananas. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, can you imagine like just going outside and in the morning just have like boxes of like chicken nuggets, whatever, just like ready to go, like just to feed 1 million people. Like I know like Chick-Fil-A is on point with their like drive-through and their customer service, and it's my pleasure and all that kind of stuff. But and they're good. They'll be out there like 4 people deep in the drive-thru to make sure that you get through there in 5 minutes. Like, I give them credit, but can you imagine like the volume in like the Chick-fil-A in the clouds or whatever that's having to drop down chicken, these quail, so that enough to feed 1 million people every single night, right? That's nutso. It's crazy. So that's miracle number 2. But then that's not enough, right? So then. Also, overnight, throughout the night, after so the evening is when the quail fall. Throughout the night, God's also going to drop down some magic bread onto the ground, so that when everyone wakes up, they'll have a different thing to eat. And we don't quite know what this is. This magic ground bread that pops up in the morning. Like, it's not, I don't think it's bagels, right? Even though they're Jewish. It's not bagels. It's not baguettes, right? It's not donuts or anything. He invented a brand new, never before eaten type of bread to fall on the ground. So every morning when they wake up, there'd just be this bread stuff lying everywhere, and everyone was supposed to run out and pick up what they needed to eat for the day, right? Everyone fend for themselves, but, grab what you need. Don't be greedy. Like, they were given very specific instructions to only pick up what they needed. And of course, right, because, the idea was like, he's just providing their basic needs. Like, here you go, like, whatever. Don't try to, like, store it up. Don't try to, like, because like people are selfish sometimes, and people are gonna do stuff. They're gonna try to like grab too much, and then they're gonna try to sell it and whatever. Like shit. There's free bread on the ground. I'm gonna get up early, scoop it up, and then sell it to other people or whatever. Like no, this is free magic ground bread. You can't do that type of thing. So, of course, nobody listens to the instructions, and then everybody grabs like extras of the magical sky bread and whatever. And of course, the next day, 24 hours later, everything that they had collected, like overnight or whatever, like if they eat it quickly, it's fine. But if you leave it sit out for just a little while, it starts getting worms in it, and it starts getting disgusting and everything. And the people are like, ew, gross. And Moses is like, I told you so. I told you. Grab what you need to eat right now, and that's it. But then, as time went on, or whatever, another aspect of another aspect of it, God wanted them to also start keeping Sabbath, right? Shabbat, keeping the seventh day of the week holy. That wasn't really a thing until now. So God is like, okay, I have an idea. So every morning you'll go out and you'll grab this magic bread on the ground and everything and all that. But one day a week, I want you to set it aside from grabbing up, magic bread and everything and all that kind of stuff. I want one day a week to be a week of rest. Like, you don't have to run out and grab the bread. You don't have to do anything. People need that. It's very healthy. You should have, a day of rest and everything. And so on the Sabbath day, on the day of rest, I don't want people to run outside and get the sky bread. So on that one particular day, well, I should say the one particular day before, whatever, the day before the day of rest, on that one day, everyone is allowed to gather up 2 days worth of sky bread, so they won't have to gather it on the day of rest, right? And they did. And when you know it, the magic sky bread on that one day a week did not get worms or disgusting or anything, whatever, overnight. Like, it lasted till the next day for them to eat it normally, right? Miracle number, 3 now? Wait, like log in the river 1, quail, Chick-fil-A 2, bread on the ground 3. We're at 4 because it's one day a week. You can get 2 bunches of it. So miracle number 4, we're just knocking it out. This is the quickest story with the highest value, the highest volume of miracles in it. We're just killing it right now. So that was happening. And that's pretty much the first mention of like Shabbat, Sabbath, the holy day or whatever, the red day of rest a week, really being established and being mentioned in the whole, not working on Saturday type thing, which of course is still observed by Jews around the world. And they called if you know the stories at all, they called the magic sky bread. I love calling it magic sky bread. It sounds more like something from an RPG game or something. I don't know, but they chose to call it manna, right? Or mana, whatever you call it. I'm gonna say manna. and apparently it tasted like a wafer, like more than a bread. Like it actually describes it, a wafer made of coriander seeds and a bit of honey, evidently. So it sounds kind of delightful, actually. Sounds kind of nice, like as far as like bread that you find just laying on the ground goes, in that category of bread things, of delicacies. A coriander seed and a bit of honey in a wafer form sounds nice. It's very good. Probably not the best, probably not the greatest like depth of taste or whatever there, but nice, and keep it nice and easy, nice and breezy with the. I'd probably personally preferred if every morning I woke up and out there on the ground there was like, cheesy bread or like Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits just for the picking up, what? Just lying around waiting to be collected, a double portion on Shabbat, whatever, but you know what, in the rankings of stuff, it'd be like probably Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits magically on the ground for me to pick up, cheesy bread second, other stuff I can't think of right this second, and then manna or whatever, and then below that is like some like zucchini bread bullshit, whatever, right? Like something gross, something nasty, some like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's like shit. Like that's probably the ranking. So I'd rather have the manna if I'm just talking about like free pickup off the ground food. So anyway, that's to give you an idea what we're dealing with. So every day the manna falls down and the people collect it and all that and everything. And then this is going to come into play later. Probably not for like a little while, but like in about 4 or 5 months. Keep listening, folks. This might come into play. Moses is like, hey, you know what, Aaron, my brother, Aaron, it's just kind of a miracle that just this bread just falls down every single day. We've never seen anything like it. Because it's a miracle, why don't you scoop some of it up, put it in a jar, right, like a mason jar or something, and we're going to keep it as a record of what happened here, right? This is going to be evidence that we didn't make this up, that we actually did have magic bread fall into the sky and everything. And I don't know what exactly Aaron and Moses did to it, because we clearly just said that every time it fell down, like it would get worms the next day, but by bottling it up, I guess they preserved it enough, whatever. They put it on a shelf, and that is going to come up later. So just putting that little Easter egg, or not Easter egg, just kind of like foreshadowing, whatever, for that. Anyway, that's going to come up later. And so now they've got like these rice cakes, whatever, in the morning, and the quail in the evening, right? But they're still wandering around, and they had left the place with the river and the tree and all that, and now water is getting scarce again. So they start complaining again, and God tells Moses like, "Hey, You still got that magic staff that we did stuff with, the one that turned into like dinosaurs or whatever. If you listened to an episode 2 weeks back, we talked about this. Anyway, so as you got your magic staff. See that rock over there? I want you to hit it. I want you to go up and hit the shit out of that rock right in the middle. Just smack dab. Hit the rock with your staff. See what happens. And Moses does. Moses hits the rock with his staff. And when he hits the rock cracks open. Not like I don't think it shatters or whatever, but just like there's now like a hole in the rock, or like, a crack. And out of that crack, water starts pouring out. And everyone is amazed. Like, now we have magic rock water. Like, and we're so thankful. And so now we've got, this is like, what? I lost track. I'm going to make up a number. We're now at like miracle 17 in this story. So many miracles, like, right? We had water, tree in the river water first. We had quail Chick-Fil-A in the evening. We had bread on the ground one. We had on Shabbat, we had bread for 2 days. That's 4. Okay, I guess we're at 5. We're at 5 miracles. 5. Count them, 5 miracles is where we're at right now. And things are going good. Things are fine. They finally have enough to eat. They have enough to drink, and they can just kind of chill until they get to the promised land, right? Everything seems to be going fine. And then another group of people decided to pick a fight with the Israelites. And like, these guys just can't catch a break. They just got their freedom. They just came out there. They just found some more water from a rock, and they just got like quails dropping out of the sky from Chick-fil-A. So Moses tells this guy, Joshua, and Joshua is important. He's going to be coming up a lot. He's got a book with his name on it and everything, but this is like the first time we're getting introduced to Joshua. So Joshua's here. And Moses tells him, listen, I need you to find some guys that can fight, right? We need an army for us. Now that we're free people, now that we are a free people, we need some fighters. We need some warriors, right? We need an army. We're going to war. And while you're fighting, what's going to happen is I, Moses, am going to go up on the top of that hill over there, and I'm going to raise the magic staff up in the air. And he's like telling Joshua all this, and Joshua's like, cool. Thanks for helping. I'm so glad you recruited me to go fight in this war that's happening, and you are telling me your plan is to stand up over there on the hill and raise your arms. Like, great plan, Moses. Sign me up. But he didn't really question it. There's a lot of conjecture there. He didn't question it, and he found some able-bodied warriors, right? And they went to go fight. And they're on the battlefield, and they're fighting these dudes, and Moses is over watching them on top of the hilltop. And just in case you were wondering, Moses isn't being like a little bitch. He's not like hiding out from the war. While the fight is going on, and he's on the hilltop watching them, he raises his hand with the staff above his head. Like he's raising it up, and while he raises his hands and raises the staff, the moments, the seconds, whatever that he's holding it up, the Israelites start winning the fight, right? They are winning this war. And some time goes on, and they're fighting, and they're doing great, but it's a big fight, right? It's a big thing, and time goes on, and after a while, naturally, if you've ever watched a Survivor, right? And those challenges that they do, like the idle challenges or whatever kind of crap, like stand one-legged on this beam in the water for 18 hours or whatever shit they do, that type of thing. After a while, Moses' arm starts to get real tired, right? He starts getting real exhausted, and he starts to like drop his arm down to rest. He's like, it hurts so bad. I gotta put it down. And as he drops his arm, the Israelites start losing the fight, right? You could just see the tide of war like switching back over to the bad guys. So he throws his arms back up again, right? And he's holding the staff up above his head, and they start winning again. But this time he is fatigued and whatever. So like 30 seconds later, he's like, "Oh my God, how long was that? Was that 4 hours?" And Aaron's there, and Aaron's like, "That was about 17 seconds, Moses." He's like, I just can't. And he puts his arms back down again, like, "Wow, this is exhausting. This is so much effort." I mean, it is. I mean, that's well, you get worn out. I'm not trying to belittle him, but his brother Aaron, he sees what's happening, and he's like, "Let me help you out. I got you, dog. Don't even trip." And he runs and he gets some help, and he brings over some like a big rock for Moses to sit on, and then Aaron and his best buddy, his best friend or whatever, this guy named Hur, Hur. Both grab one of Moses' arms and they help him hold up the staff for the rest of the day. Like they've got they hold up his arms, holding up the staff, like they are supporting him. And it says that the fight continued until sunset. But because Moses' arms were being held up and the staff was being held up or whatever, the Israelites, after all that time, were victorious. And that, listeners, is how we started cheering at football games. Like that's how the wave started in stadiums all around the world. That was absolutely a lie. That's just kidding. I hope that you know that. But anyway, and that's kind of my story. So the guy that they were fighting against, the army, was the army belonging to this guy named Amalek. And at the end of the passage, God even says, like, make it known, write down this guy's name, Amalek, because this is the only place his name is going to be known, because he picked a fight with us. I am going to blot the memory of Amalek out from under the sky. All right, we were going to decimate him. Like God was like real pissed that the Amalek decided to fight the Israelites right after they got out of slavery, and they were just kind of getting their bearings. So he's like, we're gonna mess them up. We're gonna destroy them. No one's ever even gonna have heard of them except for here. And that's what they did. And then they built an altar and they praised God for it and everything, and made a banner. It did sound like a football game, actually. I was making like a quick joke, but they had. It says we have a banner, and they were like, there was cheering and raise the roof, whoop whoop, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so that's the story. Now we have we're at 6 miracles, so many miracles in such a under 30 minutes here. We're early 20 minutes here. So much happened here. We got water to drink, we got quail Chick-fil-A to eat, we got sky bread, and then we won a war by putting our hands over our heads. An amazing time. Just ramping up, just getting started. We got a lot more Moses coming. You might be sick of the guy. Too bad. He's kind of a big deal. But we'll be able to fast forward through some stuff. The Ten Commandments is a fantastic story. A lot of stuff that people don't talk about in that one, so can't wait to get into it. And that's about it. Hope you had a great time. Hope that this was short and sweet and to the point. And I hope that you have a fantastic week. As always, thank you for listening. Cheers.